What's going on, everybody? Josh Callaway here with AllSooners, and alongside by John Hoover, Ross Lovelace at the stadium in Norman, where it was Bedlam. Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State on Saturday night to get to bowl eligibility. 6-5, 28-13, the final score. All the Oklahoma scoring was in the first quarter. That's all they needed. Defense was spectacular on Saturday night. We'll break it all down here for you, but let's start with just the obvious. Man, Oklahoma needed this. Get to the 6th win mark, get to bowl eligibility. Brent Venables feels like maybe his signature win of his first season here in Norman. They had a jillion recruits here. Oklahoma, again, just reiterate, they needed this. This was a must-have, and they got it.
Yeah, Brent brought in almost 40 recruits from the 23, 24, and 25, and even 26 was here. 4 different classes were represented. A bunch of 5-stars.
Star-studded,
The future, potential future of the program. A couple of guys they're trying to flip, a couple of 5-stars who are committed elsewhere that they're trying to flip. This was a massive win. Massive win. If you come out here and you score 28 and then you give it up, and lose this game, that's a disaster. If you come out here and don't score 28 in the first quarter and give it up like they did in the final 3 quarters, it's a disaster. So the magnitude of this win, you get to go to a bowl. We don't know which bowl yet. You get those 15 practices. Brent Venables continues to get his imprints and his fingerprints on this program. Just what he needed.
Absolutely, and to hang on, especially in a game like this, when Texas Tech is looming next week, you don't want to rely on a win in Lubbock, a night game in Lubbock to get to bowl eligibility. So I definitely think knocking that out of the way early on here is huge for OU for sure.
Absolutely, and I don't know what more Oklahoma could have done on the recruiting side of it. It was electric in here. It was a great atmosphere. Brent Venables made sure to shout out the student section in his postgame, saying they were the best they had been all year. They needed to be, other than it just being cold. I don't know what was not a sell. The lights were great. Awesome. It was electric. The first 15 minutes plus the first quarter was dream Oklahoma football. The entrance was electric in here. Obviously the great start. A lot to like if you were a recruit here, and like who said, there was a lot of them. It was a star-studded affair here in Norman tonight. We'll go positive first. Defensively, Oklahoma was fantastic today. It was their best defensive effort of the season. Spencer Sanders turned the ball over what felt like double-digit times. They were sacking him. They were stuffing the run. Even when the OU offense was giving them nothing, they kept holding the lead. Finest hour for Brent Venables' defense.
By far the finest hour. Good way with words there, Josh. 4 interceptions, including basically a game clincher at the end of the game by Deshaun White. 6 quarterback sacks. They got after him. They forced him out of the pocket. They chased him all night. 12 quarterback hurries, which is a season high for the season, for this defense. Now listen, this is a defense that has been maligned all year, and they have been not good. They have been pretty bad, almost terrible. Yes, absolutely. So what happened tonight? Where did that come from? Yeah. Why hasn't you got people like Ronnie Perkins were tweeting, where has this been all year? Where did this team come from? Not us, not media hacks. Players who were here just recently are saying, hey, how come we haven't done this before? That'd be a great question for Brent Venables. I don't think that question was asked so to speak, in those many words in the post-game press conference.
Yeah.
It looked like guys were just aligned in the right spots tonight. Just one play that comes to mind is, past weeks when people are just running free in the open field, you see that. You see a guy running free, but then Billy Bowman's coming over the top and intercepting that ball at the end there. He just flies in out of nowhere. You kind of see where people are supposed to be and where they haven't been throughout the year, and kind of where they were tonight and why it ended up all coming together and working.
Yeah, the pass rush on Sanders was a must coming in, and they had it, and all the turnovers, and he got loose a couple times, but for the most part, he didn't really kill them too much with their legs. Not nearly as bad as I personally, hand up, thought it would be coming into this game. And just, it can't be stressed enough. The offense for Oklahoma, which we're going to get into in just a second, gave nothing in the second half. The OU defense was on the field the entire second half, and they just kept answering the bell. It was really amazing. So
4 turnovers, 4 takeaways, and only gave up 3 scores. 2 of those were field goals. That says it all.
It's incredible.
13 points.
Yeah, lock it down right there as far as how Oklahoma got this win. Now, like we said, offensively, this was a weird game because the first quarter was tremendous. Dylan Gabriel was lighting it up. Drake Stoops felt like he was going to go for like 500 yards in the first couple of drives. Farouk got loose for a touchdown. Eric Gray had a couple nice early runs. They put up 28 in the first quarter. Could have been more if Brady Willis doesn't fumble down inside the 10. But after that, diddly. Couldn't move the ball to save their lives. Dylan Gabriel, you guys told me on the way, I didn't even realize it. Only completed one pass in the second half.
In the second half.
That's insane.
He starts 14 of 18 in the first quarter. The second half in all, 1 for 11.
That's absolutely insane. So I don't know what to make of it. I think overall, obviously, you come out of it negative because of the way the game ended. That first quarter was really good, but man, after that, they just never could find a groove.
A lot of red flags. Jeff Lebby said he's got to be better, especially on third down. 1 for 14 on third down. Not good after a 1 for 11 last week in Morgantown, West Virginia, right? That's 2 for 25 over your last 2 games on third down. Now, the other part of it is Jeff Lebby said he's got to be better at clock management. They were snapping the football guys with 20, 25, 27 really seconds, and they have a 2-score lead, and they're trying to wind the clock. And Jeff Lebby was going tempo. And Dylan Gabriel, who is a savvy quarterback, knows what he's doing. He's out here leading this team. He was calling for the snap in a tempo manner. It was really bizarre. It was, Brent Venables said, no, I'm not happy with that at all. We've got to be better. The defense is out here pouring their guts out, getting stop after stop.
Yeah.
You're putting them in a bad position. So clearly Brent Venables did not like the way that the clock was handled down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. That second half, the longest drive of the second half was 1 minute and 27 seconds. Last 6 drives for Oklahoma ended in 3 plays and a punt.
Yeah.
Last 6 drives. So they really – it almost felt like every single – stop that the defense got, a momentum stop, it was just met immediately with a deflating 3 and out. There was no that was just the storyline every single time. There was nothing different.
Sure. Incredibly, Oklahoma had 19 offensive possessions, including that kneel down at the end. 19 offensive possessions. 18 of those were 91 seconds or less. What?
I feel like we're like Blinken Riley right now with these stats that are just mind-blowing. It's crazy.
It's the Red Bull. I had a Red Bull tonight.
There are lots of things. It's a weird game because there are lots of things that you would look at in the stat book and be like, if you didn't know the score, you would look at it and be like, ooh, this might have not gone very well. But just a testament to what Oklahoma did in this game defensively. Because, offensively, Oklahoma, it was rough. I mean, we were on the field talking. We were saying, no, they need one more score to put this away. And that moved down from getting a score to just use a little clock, a little. And they couldn't. It was just turnover after turnover. Deshaun White gets interception, and Spencer Sanders had the ball back. It felt like 45 seconds later. The whole night was like that.
Your boy Hang Time had 11 punts, career high 11 punts.
And then got engaged after the game. So he had a big day.
Congratulations,
Mr. Michael Turk.
Married up, shout out, that's awesome.
Yeah, big day for him.
Grace Lyons, the shortstop on the softball team, in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, so a big day for him. It was on his senior night, Michael Turk went out with a bang tonight as Oklahoma. They needed him, certainly, with all those stops.
Absolutely.
Lots of big punts, pinning them deep. And OU defense, a huge game. So Oklahoma wins it 28-13. Texas Tech in Lubbock to finish the season. They don't have to win it for bowl eligibility, which, like Ross said, you didn't want to be in that spot, and they avoid it. Early thoughts. Sooners and Red Raiders next week. Texas Tech won again today. They're 6-5 also.
Yep, there's going to be a madhouse. Both teams bowl eligible. Everybody's looking to climb up a little bit. There's going to be tortillas flying, batteries flying, cuss words flying. I can't wait.
Tortillas and batteries. That's a good way to describe it.
Absolutely, and you know the Sooners would love to end the season with 8 wins at this point. You know, after the stretch that they've had, 8 wins would be solid for them coming out.
Yeah, 100%. That's on the table. So we'll see what happens next week. Oklahoma and Texas Tech. I mean, who knows with the new teams coming into the Big 12 if Oklahoma will go to Lubbock again. I mean, this could be it. So we'll look ahead to that next Saturday. But, of course, full post-game reaction to this one is there for you on AllSooners.com. Here for Brent Venables, coaches, players, Dylan Gabriel, of course, in there as well, the coordinators, all that good stuff, as well as post-game stories from these two guys, as well as Ryan Chapman, who's at home with the flow. Get better, Ryan. Hopefully we'll get him back next week in Lubbock, of course. And post-game highlights, and we'll have the post-game podcast here coming up for our full expounded thoughts on this game. That's it for us. Let's get back inside. I'm cold. I've been out here long enough tonight. Oklahoma wins Bedlam 28-13 for Ross Lovelace and John Hoover. I'm Josh Callaway.